Hey guys, first off I wanted to say thank you to my 100 subscribers. I just hit 100 subs the other day, and I haven't been running this channel for very long, and I appreciate all the support, and hopefully I can come out with more videos to continue and help you guys out or keep you entertained or whatever. So thank you very much, and let's get right into the video. Hey guys, I recently had somebody ask me about how they can play Thief if they don't have Daredevil or Deadeye, right? So vanilla core Thief. And today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about different ways you can set them up. Different ways you can set up your specializations for vanilla Thief, okay? So my favorite way to do this is with Acrobatics. So basically, Trickery, Deadly Arts, and Acrobatics. In Trickery, you always want to go Thrill of the Crime, Bountiful Theft, and Sleight of Hand. Deadly Arts, Mug, Panic Strike, and Improvisation. Improvisation is very good because when you successfully land your steal, one of the categories of your utility, healing, and elite skills will be refreshed, right? So in vanilla, you know, if you're not using Daredevil, then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different types of utility, healing, and you know, the elite spec skills that you can use here, right? So let's say you use all of these. These, you know, withdraw and trick and roll for initiative are both tricks. Shadow Step is deception. You know, we have a signet, and then we have venom here, right? So the only one we're missing is, what is it? Well, we have deception, we have a trick, we have a signet. We just don't have traps. So we have a chance to reset one of these, but there is a chance that it'll try to reset a trap even if you don't have a trap, you know, equipped. And in that case, then improvisation doesn't help much. But you do have a very high chance of resetting one of the other utilities skills that you used. Okay, so improvisation is very good for that. And then lastly, down here, acrobatics, instant reflexes, hard to catch, and don't stop. Okay, instant reflexes every 90 seconds. If your health should go below 50%, you will evade all attacks for 2 seconds. So it's a free evade. I'd say it's better than vigorous recovery or pain response, just because you don't need more vigor. You don't need more endurance regen after you use a healing skill, because if you successfully dodge an attack, you gain that already. You know, every second it refreshes. So and with withdraw and roll for initiative, those are both evades, so these count towards the successful evasion if you use it in that way, right? Okay, hard to catch. You know, free stun breaker every 90 seconds. Okay, so that's good. And then don't stop. A lot of people go with upper hand, but that's if they're playing sword dagger. You know, successfully evading, you start to regen health, but I think it's more important, especially for Dagger Dagger, that you know, movement impairing conditions are less effective on you. So basically, you're always moving. You're not really ever slowed that much, and if you are, it's not for very long because the duration is decreased by 80%. So yeah, instant reflexes, hard to catch, don't stop. Okay, in Deadly Arts, Mug is the most important one here. Stealing will help you to deal damage, and it'll heal you for a little bit, so it's just more sustained. When you're in longer fights and you need to stay alive, every time you land a steal, you know, you gain some health, so that's very good. Okay, up next we have Panic Strike. Immobilizing a foe poisons them. Striking a foe below the health threshold immobilizes them. So when you take notice of when your target is going to hit 50% or lower, your next attack that lands will immobilize them, and it will put poison on them. Okay, so that's very good. Poison, reduces their heal effectiveness by 33%. Um, and then the immobilize is useful for, you're trying to lock down that target so you can, finish them. So that's very good. And yeah, so in Trickery, you can either choose between Lesser Haste or Thrill of the Crime. Lesser Haste will give you a burst of quickness, but it has a minute cooldown on it. Whereas Thrill of the Crime will work every time you land a steal. So Thrill of the Crime, Bountiful Theft, because you want to rip the boons off your target that you're trying to put down. So if they have like defensive boons rolling, you land a steal on them and you take it away from them. So that's very good. And then Sleight of Hand for the daze, and then more importantly the recharged reduced on your steal, so it makes your steal 20 seconds long. Okay, that's one way I like to set up for Vanilla Thief, with these exact utilities here: Withdraw, Roll for Initiative, Shadow Step, and Signet of Agility. The reason being is because in Acrobatics you are rewarded for successfully evading, right? So I have 2 evade skills here, along with Death Blossom is an evade, right? We're playing Dagger Dagger, along with your dodge rolls, and then Signet of Agility for condition cleansing and to refill some dodge rolls so you can evade more. Okay. Um, yeah. So that's one way I like to set it up. Another way you could play Vanilla Thief is, instead of Acrobatics, you can go Shadow Arts. And with Shadow Arts, you would want to go Shadow's Embrace. So every time you enter Stealth, you remove conditions off yourself. Okay. Stealing grants you Stealth, and while you're in Stealth, you gain increased movement speed with Hidden Thief. Okay, and then Shadow's Rejuvenation. Every time you're in Stealth, you will regen initiative and health. Okay, and if you're going to play Shadow Arts, then I would recommend running Blinding Powder and Shadow's Refuge. Okay, you could, if you wanted to, you could go with Hide in Shadows, but it's a pretty long cooldown, and you have to channel it, so it's easily interrupted. Sometimes I find myself trying to use it and I just get interrupted and then I'm screwed, right? So Withdraw is a better choice for that. And me personally, I actually don't play Shadow Arts very often because I'm not that great at it. But if you wanted to see some really good Dagger Dagger Thief gameplay with Shadow Arts, then you should check out S Bobby. He plays exclusively Dagger Dagger, Shadow Arts. He's a world versus world roamer. He makes a lot of videos on YouTube, so check him out, S Bobby, for some Shadow Arts gameplay. He's very good at it. Okay, and then the other way you can set this up is, I tend to stick with Acrobatics, but if I want to deal a lot more damage, because I like to do one-shot builds, and you can still do a one-shot build without Daredevil, believe it or not. I mean, you have to just go Critical Strikes. Okay, and you would go Twin Fangs, increase critical damage while your health is above the threshold. Practice Tolerance, you gain more ferocity. And Hidden Killer, every time you're about to do a backstab, it's guaranteed to crit. Okay, stealth attacks are guaranteed to crit. And with this setup, I usually go Infiltrator Signet and Assassin Signet. And then I change this Marauder Amulet to Valkyrie, okay, because it has a lot more power here and a lot more ferocity, but you don't have any crit chance, okay, but it doesn't matter because the only attack that you're trying to kill people with is your backstab, and that's guaranteed to crit, 100% crit chance here. So basically you would Cloak and Dagger Steal, pop the Signet, and then hit a backstab, or Cloak and Dagger Infiltrator Signet, pop the Signet and then backstab, or Cloak and Dagger Shadow Step, pop the Signet and then backstab. Okay, Yeah, so that's why I like Infiltrator Signet, because especially if we're running this build here with zero crit chance, pretty much zero crit chance, you need multiple ways to land backstab, okay, for that 100% crit on backstab. So that's why I rock Infiltrator Signet, okay? Infiltrator Signet, Shadow Step, and then Steel to land backstabs. Just keep in mind though, with crit strikes, you know, it's not as much sustained because you're losing out on Mug, so you're not going to gain health anymore when you steal. Also, you're not going to poison them unless you land a chain, an auto attack chain that has poison on it, because poison reduces their heal effectiveness, right? Um, so without poisoning your target, whenever they use their heal, they'll probably heal for the full amount. Okay, unless you do your backstab and then do a chain, your auto attack chain, so then at least for 6 seconds, their healing is reduced. Okay, and although it's not as much sustain, with crit strikes, it's not as much sustain as with deadly arts. At least you have Valkyrie Amulet, so you're a lot more healthy here. So, yes, you do have less survivability, but no, you actually have more survivability at the same time, just because you have a lot more health here. Okay? And that's a couple of different ways I like to set up for Vanilla Thief. If you really wanted to, I mean, you could keep critical strikes and deadly arts at the same time, but I wouldn't suggest it. I mean, it's fun, especially with improvisation. Sometimes I'll actually pop my I'll cloak and dagger backstab people with my infiltrator signet and assassin signet, and one shot one guy, and then I'll cloak and dagger steal on somebody else, and then it'll reset my signets, and then I can just do it again. But keep in mind, this is like zero survivability as far as your specialization goes. That's why you either need to stick with acrobatics or shadow arts. Okay, shadow arts is a lot of survivability because every time you go into stealth, you heal, and then but acrobatics is more mobile because is a lot more mobile because you gain swiftness every time you dodge, and you can use your evades more, your dodge rolls more. Okay, so those are the couple different ways I like to set up for core thief. If you want to check out my core acrobatics montage, this is the setup I'm using for that video here. This exact setup right here. Okay guys, I hope that helped a little bit, and I'll see you on another video. Peace. Psych! I said that I would see you guys on another video and peace, but I forgot to talk about the sigils on the weapons. So let's do that real quick. So for the daggers, I always stick with Sigil of Opportunity and Sigil of Exploitation. Because, okay, Sigil of Exploitation deals 5% extra damage to targets below 50% health. And that's always good, because people will eventually fall below 50% health either way. So that's very good. And then Sigil of Opportunity deals 5% extra damage to movement impaired foes. And in PvP, everybody has some type of slow or chill or stun, or whatever. So, CC is always going to be present in PvP. So you'll pretty much always be dealing 5% extra damage to people. And, yourself in Dagger Dagger, you have Dancing Dagger. Cripple, 50% movement speed decrease. So that's movement impairing right there. And then also you're always using Basilisk Venom. So when you want to set up for your Cloak and Dagger backstab combo, you channel your Basilisk Venom first, and then do your combo, and they are movement impaired, so you'll deal extra damage there too. Okay, and then for the secondary weapon, it's always a short bow, so that you can move around the map with short bow 5. You can lay down poison field, AoE. You can do some burst and bleed AoE with, you know, your two skill, and then also it's a good evade tool as well because your 3 skill has evade on it, which works perfectly with acrobatics. Okay, and then on the short bow we're using Sigil of Cleansing and Sigil of Energy, mainly because every time you're fighting first in Dagger Dagger, and whenever you need to slip away or move around the map, when you switch to your short bow, you automatically remove 1 condition, which is better than none, right? And then you also gain 25% of endurance, which is some of your refill here on your dodge roll for more survivability. Okay, so that's how I set up my sigils. Now I'll see you guys on another video. Peace!